Hi everybody, Sanbanan, welcome to Reality Buzz TV. So you guys, listen, we need to do the full review of Izingane Zesthembu, okay? And overall, you guys, it was an okay episode. There wasn't anything too exciting except for the second half of the conversation between Vuyo, her family, and Pumelelo and his family. But the rest of it, you guys, it was just like light TV, you know? There were funny moments and, not a lot, okay? It wasn't like a packed episode. But let's talk about that second part of the conversation between Vuyo and her family and Pumelelo and his family. Of course, you guys, a lot of the things were said in the first part of that conversation. Uvuyo is still continuing to say, "Good say her biggest problem with Pumelelo is the fact that akamhloniphi, he does not respect her, and also he doesn't consider her. He will go as far as say, listen, I'm going to do whatever it is that I want." And to which Umselekuke ended up saying, he doesn't do that with his wife. That is wrong for Pumelelo to do. And if you want to know how I feel about that, watch the other video that I did last night. And I posted this morning, you guys, because I think Umseleko is lying there because he does do the same thing with his wife. He does also disregard his wives when he's making decisions, or he makes us think that he is disregarding his wives, because that's what we see on the show, you guys. It got to a point where really it felt like the conversation was going around and around and around, and Uvuyo wasn't getting her answer, because what she's looking for is the explanation. Why the virgin? Okay. Are you taking a virgin because you really just want a Zulu wife as your first wife? Are you taking a virgin because what? Whatever the reason, I think she's looking for a reason so that she can make her decision, okay? But she's not really getting the answer. I didn't feel like she's getting the answers. But there are other things, you guys, that were revealed in them going around and around and around, because there were things that were coming up. ngoMpumelelo, his concern, you guys, is that Uvuyo lives for abantu, uphilela abantu Uvuyo, and she will be too worried about what people are saying about them online. She'll be worried about what people are saying about her on social media. And also, Uvuyo compares a lot what he does for her to what he does for Utirelo, you guys. I do think, you guys, Uvuyo has an opportunity to learn from somebody that has been a tangent, because she is close to Umayeni, even though it's not like they're best friends. But I think Umayeni is open to having a conversation. Remember, on Izingane Zesthembu, we did see them in one episode. They were going out for coffee, I think, and Umayeni was like, listen, ask me anything, okay? So I feel like she has an opportunity to see her future through Umayeni. Umayeni even gave her good advice to say, listen, if you are going to be a Stenjini, Mina, what I do is that I don't look at the next person. So whatever is happening with the other wives in their households, I don't look at that. I don't compare. I focus on my life. I also don't look at what happens online. So I try to ignore everything that happens online. I look here, what is going on here, and am I happy here? So I don't make my decisions based on what the other wives are doing with their household. I don't compare myself to them. I focus on myself. And I think, you guys, that is the best strategy, really, because almost as Senjin, there's going to be you're going to have a lot of insecurities. If the other wife is doing this, now you want to do this. The other wife is fixing their house, now you want to fix your house. They're buying your furniture, now you also want to do it. And remember, people have been saying online that the Mayani's house is the one that has like old-fashioned furniture, and that tells you, Guti, she doesn't compete with the other wives, because in recent years, if you look at their houses, it looks like the other wives have updated their house. Definitely, Magdala has updated her house. The furniture is different from the furniture we saw when they first started the show. Makumalo has done it. I think a little bit Mangwabe has done it too. Mayeni, also for Mayeni, Ngatiksa also for that we saw in season 1 or season 2 of the show. So that really shows Guti she doesn't put herself under pressure. Okay. So I really feel like Uvuyo is not using the opportunity to learn from Umayeni, because listen, if you are going to make a decision ukuthi uzoqhubeka kwisithembu, then you have to have a strategy because, okay, I'm going to be in this thing and this is how I'm going to do it so that I'm not bored, because you can't be standing away every day you're just unhappy. You have to find a way to be okay with certain things that under normal circumstances you wouldn't be happy with. Okay, so there was a concern, ngoMpumelelo, that Uvuyo is concerned so much about what people are saying. But he says something important, you guys, because he says that the only thing Vuyo seems to be worried about is isidima sakhe. I think that line was very important, and I think that line was very important for Vuyo to hear, because I'm like, what is the problem with a woman being worried about isidima sakho? Isn't that what you are supposed to do as a woman, to make sure Guti, isidima sakho is intact, and the fact that he is saying it as if it's wrong for Uvuyo to be worried about isidima sakhe. So is she not supposed to care ukuthi how she's looking to abantu, and is she not supposed to be worried about her image? Isidima, guys, what is isidima? Because it's not even an image ngesingisi, but isidima, isithunzi ngesizulu sithi isithunzi, isidima is Xhosa. Isithunzi sakho as umuntu wesifazane, you're not supposed to worry about that. uMpumelelo said it as if it's a negative thing that Uvuyo is worried about isidima sakhe. And I was like, I'm hoping Ngutu Ulona Uvuyo is listening, even though she's not getting the answers that she's wanting. But I'm hoping that at least the few things that ngoMpumelelo is saying, she is taking those things, because it means something that this person that you possibly might marry in the future is saying. It's not important for you to worry about it. Isidima sakho is not important in this whole thing. Why are you worried about isidima sakho? Now, you guys, he also reveals something, because one thing I know, I do follow Tirelo and I do follow Uvuyo. And it will feel like people who like Uvuyo feel like Tirelo copies Uvuyo. Okay? And I don't know, you guys, I wasn't feeling like that, okay? But people will be feeling like, except for, I did feel like her having a baby was definitely a competition with Utirel. I felt like that with the baby. But all the other things, I will just be feeling like they're doing their own thing. But people will comment and say, when she does something, Uvuyo, they will say, Uzobona and Utirel is going to do the same. ngoMpumelelo is feeling different. It's feeling like that thing is vice versa, actually, because he says that when Uvuyo did the photo shoot, the pregnancy photo shoot, you guys, I'll put the pictures around here. The pregnancy photo shoots that Uvuyo did, the beautiful pictures that they took, he says that photo shoot, he had to and pay for it, meaning that he did not have money at the time, but he was forced to put money together to pay for that photo shoot, because Vuyo was convinced that he had paid for Tirelo's photo shoots. So he didn't have money, but Vuyo was like, if you paid for her photo shoots, you have to pay for my photo shoot too. And ngoMpumelelo is saying he had not paid, because he was trying to explain to Uvuyo that I did not pay for that photo shoot, but Uvuyo was insisting that he needed to pay for their photo shoot. So he ended up having to raise the money. Then they had to pay for the photo shoot. Okay. Now, that makes me feel like ngoMpumelelo is feeling like the competition is the other way around. He is feeling like Uvuyo is competing with Utirelo, unlike the followers who are feeling like Utirelo is the one that's competing with Uvuyo. Maybe it's vice versa, you guys. I don't know, okay? Now, here's the thing that I thought about. I was like, listen, you guys, I've been saying, I don't see ngoMpumelelo as someone that has a lot of money. Even now, when he's talking about paying lobola for the 3 women, I'm like, it must be money that is going to, maybe it's the check from the show, with the check from the last season, and then his father is probably going to help him. because besides the show, I don't see him work. We don't see these siblings at work, you guys. And so I'm just wondering if these girls have the impression that ngoMpumelelo has lots of money when in actual fact he doesn't. So I'm just wondering, you guys, would see, besides the check from the show, and I believe that they on the show they get paid as a once-off, you know. So how much is that for them to feel like he has a lot of money? And if you guys he couldn't pay for just a photo shoot, you know, does this person have money? But he's about to pay lobola for the 3 women, you guys. But so I guess we are about to see. Okay, I'm hoping ukuthi uma esembathisa he won't do what his father did, because when his father was mbathising kaKhumalo, he bought the cheapest. Guys, ngiyakhumbula kodwa I was like, hey, Umseleko, no, this woman has been living you for so long. Usungqena nje ukuthenga ama-blankets ka-1,500 each. Umseleko bought 250 blankets. Did you see them? Umseleko umbathisad with the 250 blankets, and I was like, yo, lindoda lena. But I guess Makumalo was okay, because I'm sure she was the one that was helping him to buy the blankets. I was like, how cheap of Umseleko umbathisa abantu baKhumalo. Ingubo cheap kanjeyana, guys. Anyway, you guys, so we will see. We will watch and see to see what does he have money. Listen, you guys. Overall, Ovio didn't get the answers that she was looking for, but I think that for us, we did get the information about the photo shoots, how the photo shoot came about. I guess behind that beautiful photo shoots, it's something that wasn't so beautiful because Ummelelo was forced to pay for it. Okay. And also we did find out that he did not pay for Tirelo's photo shoot. So Tirelo paid for her own photo shoot, but because Vuyo thought he had paid for that one, she wanted him to pay for this one. I really just, you guys, feel like ngoMpumelelo is over Vuyo. You know, it's unfortunate, it's painful for her, but you know, it's a fact. Like, that's all that you see in their exchange. Okay. So then Umay and you guys here and there will try and just say something to. I like ukuthi Umayeni is not really letting ngoMpumelelo get away with stuff, you know, because you're saying, listen, these girls are people too, you know, they want to be heard. And if you are going to build this family that you're trying to build, we are badinga, you need them, you know, so don't dismiss them. You know, don't dismiss them when they are trying to express how they are feeling. I like that about Umayeni. But I also feel like, you guys, there's only so much that Umayeni can do, you know. At the end of the day, the person that has the more influence on ngoMpumelelo or what ngoMpumelelo does is Umseleko. So I think as much as she really does like these girls, and I think even if she doesn't like them, she really just wants ngoMpumelelo to be fair, because for her, I feel like with Umayeni, it makes more sense for ngoMpumelelo to just pay lobola for the girls that he already has kids with, you know. But sometimes she can't force him. So I can't even blame Umayeni for anything, you guys, when it comes to this situation. So Umseleko did end up saying, listen, Mina, I want you, Kamseleko, which I just felt like, does that even matter? Ukuthi you want me, Kamseleko? The person that should want Vuyo Kamseleko is, you know. So I wonder if that statement makes a difference at all to Vuyo, because one thing that doesn't help you is when the in-laws love you but your partner doesn't, you know. Even if your in-laws treat you well, but if your partner doesn't treat you well, really, you know, it's better when it's the other way around. You know, the person that you came with, the person that he's the one that is bringing you to the family, is the one that should treat you right. So if that doesn't happen, you know, are you gaining anything from that, you guys? So it ended up, the conversation ended, and Vuyo said that when they were walking out of that conversation, that she was not Mpumelelo's girlfriend. She was just Mpumelelo's baby mama. Meaning that according to her, that is the breakup. You know, they are breaking up because she was feeling like, I mean, I think it got to a point where people were just tired of the conversation because it was going around and around and around. But still, she wasn't feeling like she got the answers she was looking for. So when everybody got to a point where they were just relaxing and making jokes and laughing, she wasn't laughing because she was feeling like she didn't get what she was looking for. But then I guess from whatever it is that she feels was said, she made a decision that they are going their separate ways. So I guess for now, Uvuyo is just a baby mama, ngoMpumelelo, you guys. Now, here's the thing. They are planning a birthday party for Ulwandle, and below is the one that is leading the planning of the party. She's speaking to ngoMpumelelo. They plan the venue and all of that. ngoMpumelelo works in, if you look at the credits, you guys, she is part of, the production. So this is the thing that I'm noticing. Because ngoMpumelelo is part of the production, I feel like below is getting, or is going to get, an unfair advantage, because I think ngoMpumelelo is going to do everything she can to present the best situation for Umpilo with the siblings. Okay, that's why I feel like once again it's going to be, because it's a reality show and everybody can't be good. Everybody can't be a good person. They can't all be loving. So they are trying to push the narrative, Kasne not getting along with the siblings, not being nice to her siblings, towards Usne mostly. And I feel like because of that, Umpilo is getting the best. She's going to be presented the best. And I don't think that it's going to be fair to the other siblings. She still is not going to give us much of her own life, but she's still going to get the best edits. That's how I feel, you guys. And I do feel like it's going to be unfair. So even here, they were talking about Lwandle's party, but I felt like, is this a scene on the show or is this a behind the scene? You understand what I'm saying? Because ngoMpumelelo there is talking about, okay, Umpilo is supposed to be the one planning a party. So it's supposed to be a situation where Umpilo is coming and saying, Ma, I'm planning a party for Mpumelelo. Do you know any places we can go to? Ma can make some calls and say, listen to that. Okay, yeah, you guys, there's a place that you can go to. But she's supposed to not be part of the party because it's the kids that are planning the party. But I think at some point during the conversation, Uya Punyuga and says, because you know what? We just need to know where you guys are going, because sizofika laphayana before everybody else, something like that, to indicate ukuthi naye she's going to the party. Now I'm like, why are you doing that? So in a way, what do they call it, kambe abantu abasebenza in productions, breaking a third wall? Is it a third wall or something, when you're actually indicating ukuthi this is a show? So I felt like, was that a conversation that was supposed to take place on the show or behind the scenes, to say, okay, you are going to organize the party, I'll make sure you guys get a place where you'll do a party and all of that, and I'll go there before nifike corner so that everything is organized, and then we'll shoot, and then they can go shoot the scene. So it felt like they are telling us things that are supposed to be taking place behind the scenes, because yes, ngoMpumelelo is part of the show, but it's supposed to be behind the scenes, that she's actually the one that is planning that party. We were not supposed to feel like she's planning a party. So I think they're just getting things mixed up a little bit, which is boring to watch, because we are supposed to just feel like this show is about the siblings. Besides, I'm tired of amakhosikazi akamsele ngiyabathanda labo mama bonke bo-4, but I'm tired, like I need a break. Okay, so as much as I watch them on Insecurities and Zesthembu, I do need a break from them when I'm watching Izingane Zesthembu. So I don't want to see them every episode, but it looks like this season we are going to be seeing them every episode, so I don't have a choice. So I guess they'll be going to Oceans Mall. ngoMpumelelo find them a restaurant at Oceans Mall, obviously, because ngoMpumelelo is friends with Sorisha. She called Sorisha and her husband own Oceans Mall. So the kids are going to be going there. But also, she is responsible for doing things like this. She does something with the cast. I forgot the title that she has, besides being one of the producers. I think she does something with the cast. Okay, I need to get it in when the next credits are running. Okay, so I think she's the one that organizes them. Where are they going to be shooting? Is everybody going to be there? Because she was also talking about, listen, we need to make sure that the ticket for Abongo is booked so she can come down for the party. Okay, all of those things, I was feeling like, this is a conversation that is a behind the scenes. Part of the conversation is supposed to be a behind the scenes conversation. So listen, you guys, the next scene we get Ulwandle and ngoMpumelelo talking about or talking to Usne about Mpilo. Now, you guys, here is the thing. This is where I feel like, really, honestly, they're pushing for this narrative of Snare having an issue with the other siblings and being a villain on the show, because they go and they fetch Snare Kaya. They're going to some park with her. I guess they'll have lunch and whatever, and talk, because they're trying to figure out to see how come their last part didn't go so well, because they ended up kind of, having an issue with each other. Usne walked out, wabathuka wahamba. Okay, but it wasn't inhlambi serious, So now they go and fetch Ulwandle and Pumelelo fetch Usne. They go, so now they're talking to her about the game. Because Kanti, what made you so upset about the game? Usne is saying that it's because you guys were wanting me to explain something that I was saying I don't want to explain. Okay. Now they are saying, Umpumelelo does say that they're saying, listen, we are a big family, so there's always kids that think maybe the other kids are a certain way. So njengokuthi other kids think ukuthi umpilo uyayitshela, or this one uyadelela, usine uyadelela. I think that's what he means when he says, as a big family, you're always going to have those issues. Okay. So now they are saying to Sneh, listen to this one. They are saying to Sneh, why did you get angry? Because it was a game. You were just supposed to take it as a game. Why did you need to get angry? Okay. Now when they are talking about Umpilo, they are saying, Sneh, are you going to apologize to Umpilo for what you said? I'm like, but it was a game. You just said Usne must not be upset because it was a game. But it's okay for Umpilo to be upset. But it was a game. You know what I mean? So I really feel like the production is really trying to push this narrative of, and I think Usne is really trying with the siblings, because Usne uneconsi, you guys. But I think ngoIngane Zesthembu, she's trying to have fun. She's trying to remain positive. If they're organizing something, she's showing up too, because part of it is it's a job for her. But she's trying to get along with the siblings. But there's a narrative that I don't like, that they're trying to push on Usne. If Usne doesn't have a right to be upset about the games, why does Umpilo need to be upset? Why does Ulona need to be upset about the game? Because the question was asked and Usne answered the question. Okay. So if she needs to apologize to Umpilo, then Usne Nayeke had a right to be upset. And if people have a right to be upset about what happened in the game. But Usne refused, you guys, and she was like, listen, I'm not going to apologize to Mpilo. That is not something that I am willing to do. So I guess you guys, that's it. I'm not going to Mpilo to apologize. I don't think that she should, you guys. I don't think that she should. I think she was just being honest. But I do feel like with her and Umpilo, they have issues that they are not dealing with in their relationship. And I feel like they have a choice to just leave it as it is, where it's just a surface, sibling relationship. The nice thing about a relationship with your sibling is that even when you don't talk things over, but you will have situations where you are forced together. So you end up just laughing at the person's joke, even though you don't like them at the time, So they can just decide, we're not going to talk about issues. We're just going to and move on. Or they can decide that, this is an opportunity, the show is an opportunity for them to have like deep conversations. It's up to them. But it must be fair on both sides. It can't be that it's okay for another person to be so upset about certain things, but this person can't be upset, okay? Anyway, you guys, now we saw ngoMpumelelo for the first time with uNosipho Ndlovu there by the beach somewhere. Nosipho Ndlovu, not Nosipho. Kusasapho Ndlovu, guys. uNosipho Cele there by the beach. He's bringing the rose, okay? And guys, you have to pay attention to such things, because these are the things that these young girls are seeing on TV, and they are thinking ngoMpumelelo is like that. Because listen to what uNosipho says when she receives the rose. Okay, they've been seeing each other for a while, but it's the first rose that she's getting from ngoMpumelelo. Okay, it is a misrepresentation of ngoMpumelelo. The show is a misrepresentation of ngoMpumelelo in a way, because they are presenting him as this romantic guy. It's not it. Probably production, they were passing by the roses there by the beach. They were like, Tati rose, so that you can just have this moment. You understand what I mean? So now the other girls will be seeing that and thinking, oh my God, buy his flowers. Agaza's name by Malin is the Kokelo production, most likely, So now they start talking about hey guys, uMpumelelo tries so hard nje ukuba yilo baba lana manje fanele sikhulume ngobudlelwane bethu. Ngiyasithanda nami isiZulu, but I was like, asikhulume phela ngobudlelwane bethu. Yabona phela lo budlelwane bethu sefanele bongisi yo guys. Yithi efanele abakhonyana bethu bakhulume kanje guys, not the kids. Hey, when is asibonisane ngobudlelwane bethu. Now you guys, here is what you will be shocked. With this girl, uMpumelelo is not coming and saying, listen, sengizolobola manje. Futhi mangilobola, nobody's gonna say anything. I'll do it however I want. He comes and says, fanele sibonisane manje ngobudlelwane bethu. You know? So this is where the lie comes in when it comes to Zesthembu, because the person is giving you what he's not really. Because uMpumelelo, we've seen it from Uvuyo that he's not a bonisane guy. He's not a guy that says asbonisane. He's a guy that says, I'm going to do what I want. But in this relationship right now, he's still the asbonisane guy, you know? So once you are in now, a person now changes and says, no, actually it doesn't matter if you want it or not, I'm going to do it. But here he's saying asbonisan. Do you see the yeah, now later on when you are hooked and you have 3 kids, he starts saying, actually it doesn't matter if you want to or not, I will do what I want to do. It's up to you guys to pick up the red flags when it's early in a relationship, okay? Now he's talking about lobola. I saw, you guys, listen, I saw the shock in her face, uNosipho. I don't want to lie, you guys. I think she tried to act like she's not shocked by what uMpumelelo is saying, because I don't think they've been seeing each other that long. But I saw her almost, you know, like, are you sure that is what you want to do? I think she was surprised by that. She was surprised by the fact that uMpumelelo is ready, ukuyolobola. But also she knows because there's 2 other girls. And guys, we can say anything. These girls are intelligent. Nosipho is also intelligent. And if she's using her brain, I'm sure it's going on in her brain like, so I found you already dating 2 people and you are deciding that you're not going to lobola, you're going to lobola me. Because guys, if he can do it to the others, he will do it to you in the future. So I saw her almost like she was going to her brain a little bit, but then she was like, oh, okay, that is so nice. Because one thing about women, you guys, is that young girls sometimes, if it's uzolobola, that's it. That's it. Okay? Ufuna ukuyovela ekhaya, that's it. Noma ngabe usiyacela uma ufuna ukuyovela ekhaya, that's it. I'm saying yes to everything, okay? Anyway, you guys, she was asking ukuthi abanye abazoba yini nenkinga abanye, you know? But in this conversation, he was trying very hard to not say the thing of ukuthi ngizolobola wena kuqala, because I think now his parents are trying to convince him that it's not a good, because they're getting, not only are they getting backlash from the girlfriends, but they're getting backlash from, you know, the viewers. The viewers are not understanding the whole thing. So I think they are trying to maybe say to him, maybe, you know, maybe not, maybe it's not a good idea, you know. So he's making sure to not say, but he says that only when he is paying ilobola would he decide who he is loboling first, okay? And you guys, quite frankly, he does have a right to do that. It might be horrible that he does that, you know. It might be unfair to the other girls. But nobody is forced to marry somebody that they don't want to marry. And that applies to Mpumelelo too, you know. Nobody is forced. Nobody can, even if you have 100 kids with somebody, nobody is forced to marry you. You know, so when you have those kids, just know that, you know, you might just end up being a baby mama to somebody, you know, and be okay with that. And also there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But don't have this thing of going now saying, now you have to marry me. No, nobody has to marry you. Nobody has to marry you. Nobody is obligated to marry you just because they have kids with you. So he does have a right to decide. He really just wants, he can even decide, you guys, that he wants Nosipho and only uNosipho that he wants to marry. He has a right to do that. That's the sad thing in this whole situation, because we've already called you Mamkul because you were calling yourself Mamkul. But honestly, if we're being honest, Mpumelelo does have a right to choose whoever, okay? It's still horrible for him to do it, but he does have a right to do it nonetheless. Anyway, you guys, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm just still learning the relationship ka Mpumelelo no Nosipho. Also, just considering the fact that these two are just still getting to know. They're in a honeymoon phase. But one thing that I did notice, you guys, and I know some people are not gonna like this. Mpumelelo's communication is much better with Nosipho. And I know it's because both of them are speaking fluent Zulu. I know other people are going to say it doesn't matter. Communication, I know it's because bakhuluma Zulu to bobabili. That's why I feel like they were communicating. It's the first time that I was able to follow a conversation kaMpumelelo with Nosipho. When he's speaking to Vuyo ngathi omunye ule angazi noma bayamisana in a conversation. I do feel like the fact that bobabili bakhuluma Zulu, and I know people are not going to like that, it does make a difference in their communication. It felt much better just listening to their conversation, and also conversation yabo made a lot more sense than usually when Mpumelelo is communicating with the others. Okay, so maybe that's even the reason he is feeling like this is where I'll get support, because this is where I feel I'm understood. The language, I feel like, contributes to this situation. Okay, and I know some of you are not going to like it. Okay. Listen, you guys, I've always said that, okay, if I had met somebody that wasn't Zulu, of course, you guys, if you fall in love. But there's nothing better than just getting angry and screaming at somebody in your own language, okay? It's the best thing ever. Imagine umuntu ongaka understand about uyangibhedela yazi ke uyangidakelwa ke manje. Imagine, can you imagine that? You know, now you have to be angry in English, you know? Now you have to fight in English. Now you have to say in English. You have to say futek in English. Guys, you know. So there's something, it just makes things better, you know. When it comes to you getting heated, you want to get heated in your own language. It feels so much better, you know. And I know a lot of the time people will feel like it's Xhosa nesiZulu nje kuyafa akufani. It's so akufani in such a way that khona ama words where you can be saying something, ama words afanayo. It's like a same word, but in Xhosa it means something totally different. In Zulu it means something totally different. You can fight and somebody says something and you get heated because you think they mean something else in Xhosa, and in Zulu it means something totally different. Okay, so language makes a difference, and I think that it makes a difference in this relationship. But here, you guys, it's early on. We are still going to watch. They go to Lwandle's party. It's a beautiful place, beautiful restaurant they at. They surprise Lwandle with a cake. Umpilo no snare are okay. Guys, I don't like the fact that this producers in Jebafuna these siblings, because I think in the diary session they did ask Usne ukuthi no, Umpilo, how do you feel about this? Umpilo was like, no, we are okay. Of course, we haven't talked about the issue, and I don't want to talk about it because young Asula still, but we are okay. That's how families do it. Sometimes they just, you know, and they move on. So the fact that how do you feel about Sneh? How do you feel about Umpilo is that they wanna get them to a place where they fight. Okay. But everybody was friendly to everybody. They were all laughing, they were all supportive, they say surprised, all of that. Ulwandle ends up saying, he wants some strippers. Ngathi Ulwandle, he just discovered amantombazana. That he just discovered there's something called a girl, and they have izingane bakwazi ukuthweka. There's something called a club, you know. So he thinks that impilo must be that, you know. So he did that request ukuthi ufuna stripper, and next time they mustn't do a party, they must do strippers. But he did appreciate the party, you guys. Even in the diary session, he said, listen, I know I'm saying it, we are strippers and all of that, but I think what they did for me was really great. Okay, so I think that he did appreciate the fact that they made an effort and did that for him, you guys. And then ngoMpumelelo went out to get to fetch, you know, Nosipho. And this is an interesting thing, because when I did the video and I said that Umseleko being a man that always says he's a traditional man, I'm wondering how he is allowing Mpumelelo to take into Mazaneyagacel And the young people, and I could see it's the young people mostly that were coming in and saying, no, but biologically they are not related. He can take it to the only people who are related is Ingane Gamacele. And I was like, okay, ngizobuya kule topic, because I knew it was going to come back. He comes back with his girlfriend and he says to Abongwe, Usne, who are Ingane Gamacele, guys, and also Pilo is also there. Says, guys, so this is, Unosipho Cele. Now here's the thing. I know my reactions, you guys. It looked like Abongo was shocked, but it might not be like that, because it edits. When we see it next episode, it will be different. But think about it now, you guys. Mpumelelo is Abongwe's brother, and Abongwe is a cousin to Ulon, to Nosipho, and phela ngamaZulu thina sisho ukuthi uMdletshe ozalo baba. Even if I went to New York and I met umuntu wakaMdletshe, that is my brother. Even if I went to Zimbabwe and I met umuntu wakaMdletshe, that is my brother. If your surname is Mdletshe, Ngomane, that is my brother. Now, Abongwe no Lo, they are cousins. Abongwe no Mpumelelo are brothers. If you are my brother, is my cousin not your cousin? If we had to look at it that way. Uthathe ekhaya uMpumelelo. Mpumelelo uganwe komalume wakhe, basically. And because it suits them, Omseleko, they are allowing it. Mhlambe, if Usne went, wahamba wayoqoma kaCele, benzozwa. Umseleko would have said, Mina, I am a very traditional man. Into yokuthi Usne nje ahamba yoqoma kaCele, ekokuqala nje kaCele komalume wakhe. Umseleko would have said that if Usne was the one that went wayoqoma kaCele. But because it is uMpumelelo, everything ends uMpumelelo fanele promote, support, and all of that. Now uMpumelelo is not related kaCele. How are you a brother to ingane zakaMacele, but the cousins zeingane zakaMacele when you are not cousins to them? It does not make sense. NgesiZulu ayikho leyo nto, guys. uMpumelelo uthathe komalume wakhe kaCele. Okay, we can deal with that. Ingashintshwa nje phela, because now, how is ingane kaCele squeezer to Abongo, because kaCele komalume kaAbongo is like, okay, are you just bringing her because she's my cousin? But when something is done by uMpumelelo, there's always a way to brush it. No, it's not so bad. Now I have a wife from kaCele, so uMpumelelo had to take a wife. He will find a way to make it right. But I can tell you right now that if it wasn't uMpumelelo, it was one of the girls, or more specifically Usne, it would have been an issue with Usne uqome kaCele. Usne uqoma kanjani komalume wakhe. Usne wouldn't have been able to say, no, but mina komalumami akona kaCele, komalumami kaShibi. She wouldn't have been saying that. uMacele raised you. uMacele is your mother. All of these mothers are your mother. So you are related to them. Yeah, you see. Hypocrisy. But we deal with it all the time in these Zulu families when it comes to how boys are treated and how girls are treated. But we will point it out until we go to the grave. Anyway, you guys, that was an episode for today. Okay, I'm not supposed to say much. It was just like, I'm like, yo, Ntombazane, kusazofanele ukhulume esithenjini, uyokhuluma kuze kumamathe, kuqhansamathe, mamathe, ukhale inyembezi, zimi inyembezi, usazokhuluma. Practice the talking. There's no quiet wife esithenjini. There's no quiet wife esithenjini. If you are quiet, you become talkative very, very fast. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before you're gonna share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers.